Monday here at Fox 23, and joining us now to talk a little finance this morning is Managing Director of DLG Wealth Management, Andy Guzzetti. Andy, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Good morning, Stephanie.
And today we're talking more on our government's debt crisis. The Super Committee has been meeting for the past few months trying to figure out where they can cut, but of course coming to no agreements. What's your take on all of this? I know we've talked about the Jones family in the past, and they're back on the table again today.
Let's revisit the Jones family because it's easier to see what's going on, and then we can talk more from there. If you remember, we visited the Jones family in August, and the Jones family has the same debt problem as the United States, only with 8 less zeros. The Jones family has income of $21,700. They're spending in their budget $38,200. So that means new debt for this year was going to be $16,500, and you add that to their previous debt, they now have debt of $142,710. I might say that this has already hit $150,000 because the U.S. debt is now $15 trillion. Mm-hmm. So they've got $142,710 in total debt. You remember they decided we're gonna cut $385 from spending of $38,200, just like the government did.
That's pocket change.
Now, they also said by Thanksgiving, November 23rd, the day before, we got to cut another $120. I mean, that's what they're talking about in the government, $120, and right now they can't agree on it. That's the Super Committee can't agree on $120 on $38,200 worth of spending. And that's where we are, and they've got to do something tonight because they got to give them 48 hours of public before they can bring it to Congress. So, you know, there's some problems going on. I don't think the problem is a lot of people are saying, you know, if they don't do anything, they're going to lower our debt rating. And that's a problem. Mm-hmm. But you remember last week we talked about Italy and Greece.
Yes. And
it's really not the debt rating. It's the bond market's going to tell them when they're in deep trouble. If they start raising the amount of interest that the U.S. government has to pay on their bonds or on their notes, their 10-year note, that's going to create a lot of problem. You remember we said Italy and Greece has got to be a wake-up call for the United States, and right now it doesn't look like they woke up yet.
Apparently not. And today's, like you said, today is the deadline for this. And I mean, we're talking really pocket change here when we're talking about the cuts that kind of is on the table at this point, and they still can't agree on it.
It's pocket change with the 120, but understand it affects a lot of people. You know, we're talking about the defense spending, we're talking about Medicaid, Medicare. So there's a lot of things to think about.
But compared to the overall debt that they have, I mean,
they should be able to find $120.
You would think so.
Yes.
But again, their deadline is this evening, and if they don't meet that deadline,
well, they're in the bill, it does say that they'll cut $1.2 trillion from military, from some entitlements. So there will be some cuts, unless, of course, remember, these cuts don't start to 2013, so they have some time to maybe not cut the cuts or cut the cuts.
It just seems like a back and forth at this point.
It's tough.
Hopefully they figure it out. Well, Andy, thank you so much for at least trying to break it down for us. I know this is kind of a jumbled topic at this point.
It's tough.
Again, but now if you have any money questions of your own, send us an email. You can also post it on our Facebook page, and maybe it'll be answered right here on Money Monday. Well, up next, we will take a last look at this morning's headlines.
Hey, we got a full check of the weather before you head out the door. We will be right back.
Plan your future. Protect your assets. Preserve your wealth. The definition of success. DLG Wealth Management. Planning today, preserving tomorrow for success.
Robert Marie.